Body count, Andrew?
Say again?
Body count?
Well, I can guess. Oh. But the thing that's interesting is that I can guess and say a number now and it doesn't matter. But the girls who are hiding their body count or don't want to say their body count, I understand very well why they don't want to do that.
Why?
And I think that actually highlights one of the key differences between men and women. The fact that a woman sitting here will not sit and say how many men she's had sex with, and I can sit here and say a number and nobody gives a fuck. That shows there are clearly key biological differences, and there are key socio differences between men and female. And we need to keep that idea for everything else we discussed tonight, because we're going to sit here and pretend that we're all the same and that we're all equal and that they can do everything a man can do and all this crap, but they won't even sit and say how many men they've slept with because they understand intrinsically that their sexuality is actually completely differently wired than a man's sexuality. So it's important we keep that in mind.
People will dab you up, but they'll shame a
ladies.
Oh, you know what? You know the funniest thing? I think Myron actually said this first.
As
when
they
a
should.
woman doesn't like another woman, it's the first thing she calls her.
Oh.
Yep.
So if a woman doesn't like another woman, first thing she says is she's promiscuous. And then a woman will sit and go, I'm promiscuous, it doesn't matter. Then why are you using it as an insult to any other woman you don't like?
Right.
Since the dawn of human time, nobody has ever respected a promiscuous woman, ever. In any holy book, in any society, there's never been a story which is complimentary about a girl who's promiscuous. It's only the opposite. Chastity, virginity, being hard to achieve, hard to obtain, hard to get. Nobody's ever been singing the praises of a ever until this new modern world where they've come along and decided, how do we make men and women dislike each other so nobody has children? Yep. How do we get men to give up their warrior spirit? How do we prevent men from going to the streets and finally taking their country back? I know what we'll do. We'll get them scared of their wives. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get him married to some who treats him like shit. Yeah. Tell him if he leaves her, he loses everything he's ever worked for and needs to sit at home and over some who barely likes him. She's allowed to go out and drink with the boys. You can't even tell her not to do that. This is all done on purpose. And they've really somehow convinced this new generation of women that being promiscuous is somehow a win. It is a L. There is no bigger L for a woman than being left and right by guys who barely remember her. Yeah. That is the biggest L on the planet. And if you've been psyoped into believing that's a good thing and that you somehow win, you are definitely a slave to the Matrix. You need to wake up and understand the most important thing you have as your #1 trump card in the world. In fact, the only advantage you have on this planet is your sexuality. You're not bigger than men. You're not stronger than men. You're not smarter than men. You can't resist enslavement like men. You're more lazy than men. You can't do anything a man can do. The only thing you've got is, and if you're throwing it away to any in Pennsylvania who drives a Toyota, you need to think twice about what you're doing.
This is biblical. The Bible calls it the weaker vessel, like quite literally in scripture.
I mean, it's not an insult.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
It's playing to your strengths. You have to look at the board and say, what do I have on the board that I can play with?
Yeah, that's
and
the truth.
Understand that sexuality is their move. That's why they have accounts. So what I'm saying is, if that's your goal, don't throw it away. Be very careful with it. That's all I'm saying. It's an L to give away your gold. It's an L for a man to give all his money away. Why would I give money away to random on the street in Miami if I just walk around and start handing out dollar bills? I'm a dumbass. So if you're going to walk around handing out, guess what you are? You're a dumbass. And this promiscuity is being pushed by the Matrix purposefully because nothing is going to detest a man more than the fact that before he met you, you were promiscuous. What's going to make a man, there's nothing else that will make a man want to take care of you less than the fact you were promiscuous before you met him. I have to take care of you, pay your bills, put up with your get you a house, buy you a car, make sure our children are safe, pay the bills. I have to do all this, and that guy hit it for free? Why am I paying for what he got for free?
Facts.
If you walk into McDonald's and you get a hamburger for $1 and I come next and they say it's $10, I'll be like, why did she pay $1? Why am I paying 10? Am I
Right.
Promiscuity is lowering your value to all of your future potential partners. It's extremely important that doesn't happen. And that's why the on here are sitting saying, I don't want to say my body count. I understand why they don't want to say it. I'm not saying they should say it. What I'm saying is that every single alive actually intrinsically understands her only value or her biggest trump card to other men is her sexuality. And no man wants what every man's had.
And yeah, that's the thing, is that even amongst women, we will lie about our number or say that it's a smaller amount. Basically, we'll lie about our number amongst each other, or we'll explain why it's this or that. and then all in the same sentence be like, but girl, you go and do your thing, like to the next chick, but all within themselves, like, but I ain't gonna do that. Shoot, I ain't gonna. I know that if I do it, then I'm gonna be not as valuable. All knowing that within your own mind, like, but you will go and be like, yeah, girl, do your thing, like all to you. But then if you are with somebody and you're okay, best situation I could put it is with a female friend of mine. She has a man, a boyfriend at the time. She does the promiscuity thing for like a post, and then he gets upset and he's like, oh shoot, okay, I'll take it down. Right there, but then all while telling me to behave a certain way. But yet for your man, you understood that, oh wait, I shouldn't be doing that. Oh wait, that's oh my bad, I made a mistake. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's so crazy that we as ladies will encourage each other, but then know within themselves and within their own relationships what is the proper move, that you are not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be letting it all hang out there for everybody to see. That's only for your man, and you know that. Because as soon as if you are with somebody and he says something, you know what's the proper move, you know? But yet we're all out here like, yeah, you go girl, yeah, but then pissed at our men for looking. No, but you're encouraging these women to go out here and have their boobies out and their butts out, like, and encouraging that, like, that's crazy. But all still pissed at your man if he takes an eye at it. Like, what? You can't be mad at them for that. It's crazy. Let's get back into it.
Facts.
Andrew?
Sure.
Okay, so if sexuality is their only thing, why is it so important what a body count is and not a man's?
Sorry. Again?
Why is it so important what a body count is and not a man's?
Okay, you want to hit this one, Myron?
No, you go.
No, please.
No, you're supposed to guess, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they've heard me say
Myron,
it
you can
whenever.
get it after.
I'm just here to moderate.
It's a genuine question. I'm genuinely curious from a men's perspective.
Well, there's very specific biological differences, firstly. Firstly, women get pregnant, men don't get pregnant. This is the most important. There's no,
One time you don't play the sound.
but this is actually very important because for the longest period of human history, up until very modern times with birth control, etc., if a woman had sex with a man, she might be out of the dating market forever. So she needs to be a lot more careful with who she sleeps with than a man does. Because a man can have sex with a woman, she can get pregnant. The man's not out of the dating market. The man can just bounce if he so decides. That's the first thing. It's biological. It's very important. Secondly, from a societal perspective, for a very long time, have been praised for their chastity or as close to it as possible. This is why all of society was built. Why do you wear a white dress at a wedding? Do you know why?
Purity.
Purity.
You're supposed to be a virgin, to be honest. And no one is. But you're supposed to be, right?
But why? But why?
Why? I'll tell you why. Because for the longest period of human history, the only way I could ensure paternity of a child is if my wife was a virgin. How am I going to know that kid's mine? Let's say we live in some country where everyone looks the same, right? I'm Chinese. Ching chang, chang chong, ching wong, wing wang. We all look the same. Chinese baby comes out. How do I know that Chinese baby's mine? Now we have DNA tests. All right, cool.
She was
but
loyal. Back
in the day.
humans have evolved over thousands of years, right? How do I know that baby's mine? The easiest and only way for me to know that child, which I now have to take care of, which is supposed to share my name, which I have to invest years into trying to make a prodigy of me, which I have to give my empire to, which I have to give my money to, that son, everything I've ever worked for, everything on my back goes to him. How do I know he's mine? The easiest way is if the woman's a virgin. That's probably one of the only ways, right? So we now live in a new modern society where you can trick with science. You can take birth control, you can get DNA tests, you can sleep with all these men and get away with it, etc. But this is not the way things ever were. And if you accept that, then you must accept that evolutionarily, biologically, I would argue that there is a mental component to all of these things. And I want to give you all a thought experiment because I'm treating you like adults. If I told you, here's a girl, you've never met her, and she's had with 1,000 men. Do you imagine her to be a rational, stable girl, or do you imagine her to be crazy?
She's got 1,000 there.
I mean, she's
crazy, man.
She's nuts.
Yeah, she's not there.
Okay, so a woman can't. So let's approach this as professionals. Here's the point. In history, if a woman slept with a man and she got pregnant, she was with that man forever. That was it. There was no birth control. There was no DNA test.
Correct.
Are not prepared mentally to go through endless breakups. They sleep with a guy, they have a kid, they're stuck with that guy forever. Men, since the dawn of time, have been sleeping with different women, were evolved for it. Women aren't. A woman cannot go through life having endless sex with loads of different men and not take genuine mental damage. They end up crazy, they end up on antidepressants, they end up being alcoholics. Anyone who sleeps with 100 men ends up literally nuts. You're not evolved to do that. And if you find a woman who has done it, talk to her for 5 minutes. You'd be like, you're nuts.
Could I offer
That's the
something real quick? I think that's why Judaism is only passed down through the mother, technically, right? Because that's the only way that you can confirm that that child is actually Jewish, because it was birthed by the Jewish mother. You don't know with the father who actually impregnated her at the end of the day. Like, quite literally, Judaism to this day, it is only passed down through the mother.
Do you think that's an interesting point?
Yeah.
I have to be careful talking about them because I go to jail. But do you believe a woman can have sex with 1,000 men and retain her sanity?
No.
This is a simple yes or no question.
No.
Because I know men who have slept with 1,000 women and they're fine. Can a woman sleep with 1,000 different men, 1,000 different inside of her, and retain her sanity and happiness as an individual? It's a yes or no question.
No, not even 100, in my opinion. Not even 100.
You lose your mind. You're not evolved to go through breakups. You're not evolved to do this. You're supposed to have sex with a man, get pregnant, be with that man. You're not supposed to be sleeping with a new man every 3 months.
Right.
This is all modern bullshit, and that's why everyone's losing their minds. How many women are on antidepressants? How many women admit they have a mental condition? How many women admit to being depressed? All of this comes.
Yeah, and the reason why that we are doing all of that is because it all comes down to simply not taking accountability for your choices and your actions. That's why you're going nuts, is because we are, as women, are telling each other that it's okay and do that, all in the same sense of knowing that we shouldn't do that, and internally damaging ourselves. And then we think we're nuts when no, you're just fighting against what you naturally are, which is you can't help but to want to be with a guy and stick with him, and regardless of what he does, that's your nature, and you are fighting against that feeling, and so you're going nuts over that.
Yeah.
Now you can have this is what I've learned as far as in my own life, is that you can gain bodies, and who knows how many you can get up to. I think that, at a certain point, it gets really hard to walk back and work through. But I think that if you truly within yourself take accountability in your own heart and your own choices and realize, oh my gosh, this is all because of me. This isn't because of any of these men and or the situation that I grew up in and things like that. Yeah, they apply to what made you be maybe more promiscuous, your mother and father, or situation that you were in with your parents, that those things can apply in your life and make you more promiscuous in some way. But it's still, at the end of the day, is your decision if you follow through with that or not. Take accountability for that. And that's the only way that you can walk back those bodies that you obtained. And then you can get back to a virgin-like mindset where you can actually appreciate the guy that you're with. That's the only, but I think that because there is a God, and God gave us good men, is that there is a way to walk back those things. I think, I
wanted to say that the main issue is that, from what I've seen, is that women talk to women, and women don't tell the whole story all the time. Yes. So women are giving women based off of advice of lies that they've even told to themselves in situations. Yeah. So they'll tell them this advice about this particular guy. Leave that guy. Go get with this guy. Go do this. You don't need. You know what I'm saying? You don't need no man. You don't need him. You don't based off of one side of the story. And they always only tell one side of the story, and then all women take on those trauma stories from each other, and then that's how they take their idea of men. And then also, so then if they all stay in the echo chamber, they never have to express that they've ever done anything wrong. They could just go to, because now the internet, you can go straight to TikTok, tell them half of the story just to get validation for the lie that you're telling, to get validation from other broken women.
And then this is why single mothers end up raising boys that don't know how to properly be men, because you're only telling them half truths. You aren't telling them where you went wrong. You aren't telling them what it's your fault and your decision for doing those things, and that's a whole nother thing. But it's a big deal. It really is. Let's get back into it.
Down to the amount of dick they're taking. None of these should be all these dudes. That's why they're all mental. That's literally why all these women are fucking crazy.
I think
It's
a lot
just
of agree with you on that.
You're
When,
right.
like, no, because
No.
when a woman has a male-centered friend, what is the first thing you do when you become friends with someone? You notice if they're male-centered, and you
Right.
do not want to be friends with them.
Right.
And
All male-centered.
so I feel like we can all
It's in our
agree to a
nature.
certain extent.
We're built for them.
If a person is a certain amount of male-centered, it is an unhealthy friendship because men will become everything about the friendship.
I had a friend who had over 100 bodies, and she's never been in a real relationship. And now she's not my friend. She actually f***ed me over in a major way recently. And should I be surprised? Because she's a crazy because girls who have... Yeah, sorry.
Okay, no,
Women-
you're right.
We aren't really friends. Like, that's just the truth. Like, very rarely can we actually have friends. Like, friendship is where I'm there for you to tell you the truth and be there regardless of whatever you're going through. I'm there for you. And that is what a true friendship is. But majority of friendship, and this is coming from where I had to learn this myself, majority of women friendships are not real friendships. These are competition ships. These are basically, that's all that a majority drinking buddies, who can be the sexiest one, again, a competition ship. So yeah, there's never a real woman friendship usually. Of course, like, I'm blessed, I have a couple, but very few, like 2 that are real friends.
Started from an innocent age.
Yes,
Only
exactly.
from innocent ages.
Exactly, yeah. And then as you become a mom and a wife, you can find maybe a wife and a mom friendship. But even then, you're so busy with your family, you don't have time to go and meet with them and things like that. Of course, you want to here and there, maybe. But even then, but then you understand that. And that's a real friendship too. Hey, I understand. You got a family you got to be around and take care of. So yeah, if you can't meet up, that's cool too. Just meet up when we can. And then it never happens usually. That's a real friendship though, you know? So I don't know. I think that this talk of women friendship isn't real, you know? I think that the more that we can accept that and understand that how toxic we are to each other, the more protective that I think dads need to be of their little girls that have friendships with other ladies, the more, you know, the more hopefully protective of yourself as a young lady of, let me be careful who my friends are. Like, that's very important. It really is. So yeah, let's get back into it.
Right. And then let's apply this to something else, right? Relationships are difficult and people argue. We can all agree with that.
Yes.
Have endless options, even more than high-tiered males, even more than famous men. You can go out and get 100 men a day. You have unlimited options, right? So if you're not prepared to struggle and suffer through the difficulties of a relationship with a man, you always have the option to go out there and get a new man right away. So as soon as the stigma attached with a new disappears, because your first 3 or 4 men you sleep with, sleeping with a new guy is a big deal. But once you slept with enough men, it's not a big deal anymore. So you argue with your man, and he pisses you off because men annoy you and people argue, and your instant option, your instant default is, I'll just go get a new dick with a new man. F this guy. Men lose their ability to even be loyal or pair bond or stick through any kind of difficulty with a man if they sleep with too many men.
Can we talk about pair bonding? Actually, that's important.
No,
I want to ask,
what is pair bonding?
what's your opinion, Andrew? How many bodies can a girl have before she can no longer pair bond, in your personal opinion?
What is pair bonding?
That's a good question. Genuinely be in love with and genuinely obsessed with.
Yes.
Okay.
2, 3. I'm not gonna lie.
What's
Wait,
the
wait.
noise?
So
It's
I'm
just
so confused on what it is.
That's
So
how you
is there
see
a certain
women.
amount of
It
people who
exists in
do
the
it?
animal kingdom, right? I mean, no, Andrew, explain. He'll be better.
different. You know, everybody's different in their own way.
Ladies. Let him explain it, then he can tell you.
No, I'll listen. How do I see that's negative? I just said shouldn't be promiscuous. Is that a negative idea?
No, I agree.
Is that a negative opinion?
That's your personal
No.
opinion.
What have I said that's negative about anything I've said so far?
Nothing.
No, you're trying to enlighten to not be promiscuous.
I'm genuinely asking. If I said something
But you're
offensive, please let
basically
me know.
making it seem like we're
No, I'm saying you shouldn't be.
men are
He's not saying that.
too.
I'm saying
He's not saying
I'm saying you
that.
shouldn't be.
I think we should get to the pair bonding question, because that may explain a lot. Andrew, how many women, in your opinion, Andrew, how many women can a girl sleep with before she can no longer
Okay,
pair
so I
bond
have
with
a
her man?
controversial opinion
Okay.
on this.
Talk about
Okay,
it.
let's hear it.
But here's the first thing, and I want to actually get you girls' opinions because I'm here to learn. I'm not going to pretend I know it all. Well, I do, but I'm being nice.
Pretending.
I'm pretending. I would argue a woman can only truly, deeply fall in love 1, 2, max maybe 3 times. Would you agree?
Yes,
I agree.
100%.
You fall in love once. You can only truly, deeply, with all of your heart, fall in love 1, 2, maybe max 3 times, and after that, it just doesn't feel the same anymore.
No, I agree.
I agree. My fiance is the only man I've been truly in love with. My first love was like puppy love, I would say. I felt like I loved him. It was 4 years long, but I was young. It was puppy love. This is my first relationship where I'm really, genuinely, truly in love. So I would agree with you.
I don't think we can fall in love over and over again.
Actually, I've only fallen in love once.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
And you're 20, right?
20, yeah.
It makes sense.
You're
You're young.
But I had a baby with the person.
That's
so.
good.
It's okay.
Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And children are
with him?
beautiful.
Can you be with him? Do you want to get with him for the sake of your baby, maybe?
Girl, he's in jail.
Been there. Play the soundtrack. But the point I'm making is women only fall in love 1, 2, let's assume 3 times.
Yeah.
A man can fall in love over and over and over and over.
No.
I feel like it's promiscuous.
Well, I'll give you another thought experiment. This is a thought experiment. If a woman sleeps with 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 men, and then the perfect man comes along who's very nice to her and treats her well, etc., because of what I just discussed earlier with the fact that people argue and nothing's perfect and she has unlimited options, she's likely to cheat on that guy and eventually leave him. Whereas if a man sleeps with 50 women, and then the perfect little virgin angel who obeys him and does everything he says comes along, he's going to be obsessed with her. He's going to fall in love with her completely and utterly. Men can fall in love at any point during their history.
And this is where, biblically, when it says that women are the weaker vessel, this is what it's talking about, is where, just like he said, a woman comes along that is the perfect lady, that virgin, the male is going to be more prone to being obsessed with her and loving her and doing right by her after all these bodies. Now, that's for but us for ladies, after having bodies, we are more prone to, when we get the perfect guy, not treat him properly, possibly go out and cheat on him because we are the weaker vessel. Like, that is just biblical. And I even still hate hearing that. Like, I do not like that feeling. Like, but rather than using that hatred for understanding that you are the more prone to being the weaker one, fight against it. Have some benevolence about you, and understand that, you know what, take that as a challenge, that, you know, I am gonna be the weaker vessel because there's nothing I can do about it. But then fight against it and make sure that in all aspects of ways that I can be better, which is a Proverbs 31 woman, is doing that and moving appropriately. That's all that you can control, is yourself in the end. And that's what men understand, is that all that they understand is that, oh, well, I'm in control of what I do. I can't control what the lady is doing. Like, you know, and they get that. They understand. But we don't. We don't take accountability and understand that, oh, we are in charge of what we do, and that's it. We can't control what he's doing. So let me move properly, regardless.
Yeah, we're in charge together in making a better world, a better America, a better world. And one thing I noticed that men understand is duty. It's duty. Your duty is to do this thing regardless of whether the women are pitching in or not.
Yeah.
And because if we stop, it's even worse.
Yes.
So essentially it's just getting more women to understand duty.
Yes.
What duty, like understanding,
regardless of what he does.
Yeah.
That I'm still gonna move. I'm gonna still
gotta pick up the slack.
Be a good person, or try to be by Jesus' standards, which is understanding that, oh, I ain't nothing. I ain't perfect. So I need a God that's going to teach me how to be a better person. And that's what it all is. That's what it all comes down to.
Yeah, it's not a curse.
You're not better than him. You're not better than the man that you're with, because you make mistakes too. Yeah. You have made mistakes, and you will make some more. And you're not better than your guy. Never.
Stop
You're
playing
never
victim.
better than him. Yep. And that's what we love to do. We like to try to make ourselves like we're better than our guy. No, like stop doing that. It's only going to bring you misery. I've done it. I've been there. It's only going to bring you misery and you don't understand why. But yeah, get back into it.
Get 1, 2, 3 shots max.
Yep.
Then they die inside. Their hearts die inside, and they become gold diggers.
It's true.
This is the guys. This is the current cycle of society. The current cycle of society is this: men and women fall in love at a young age, teenage love, whatever. It doesn't work because young age never works, right? People used to get married back then. No one gets married anymore.
Right.
And if you don't get married, you don't have a kid young, it's going to end. Then they go out there, they find another guy they like, they fall in love. And then eventually he cheats, so they leave him because they've been told by society, leave a man the second he cheats. Then they get another guy, and that works for a while, and then it breaks up. Break up, go through a guy, break up, go through a guy. Most don't even want to be. They just keep going looking for this impossible standard that they see on Instagram. I want a man who brings me a G-Wagon full of roses and never cheats and flies me on jets and he's 6'8" and makes $10 million a month. That's what I want. That's what I deserve, girl. I saw on TikTok. And they go through life looking for this unrealistic. They don't even mean to be. They're just going from dude to dude trying to find something that doesn't exist. And eventually, after they've had enough, their heart dies and they think, I'll just chase the bag. And then they become gold diggers. That's the current cycle of society on repeat. That's all that's happening.
How do you end off of like a couple
Hold on. One at a time, good.
How do you break that cycle? Because there has to be something that society as a whole can do to address that, because it's a really sad thing.
It is.
You know, it really is.
It absolutely is. And we need to prioritize the only thing that actually matters in the world. And that, for me, the only thing that matters between a man and a woman is a child.
Babies.
I think it's beautiful that you have a child. I think it's a good thing. And nobody talks about that. We talk about, you meet a partner, you should be in a relationship, or even people who push the idea of marriage. Personally, and this is controversial, a lot of people disagree with me. Fuck the marriage. The kid matters more than the marriage. The marriage is a piece of paper, bro.
I saw your ex post. It was on point, honestly. People were like, I want to be married. I want the big wedding. I want all of this stuff. That's a transaction.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I completely agree with that post that you made, 100%.
If we're dating from their teens, understanding their primary objective in life is to have beautiful children, then people would stay together longer. But most at the age of 17 are getting with a man saying, I want kids when I'm 30. So what, you're going to be with this guy for 13 long years? No way. Of course you're going to break up. And then you're going to get another guy, and of course you're going to break up with him. If a woman decides she doesn't want kids till she's old, or older, sorry, the point is, it's nearly impossible to be with one guy, because humans are humans, and we argue and we fight. I can tell you now, the number one I'm prepared to sit down and try and work it out with are the mothers of my kids, because we have a kid.
Yeah.
If I'm with some girl and she pisses me off and we ain't got a kid, it's like, well, get the f out of here. You think there's not another 19-year-old in Miami? Get the f out of here.
Right.
So the only thing that matters is children. We should be prioritizing children. Nobody's having children. The birth rate has collapsed. The world is literally imploding. It is literally over for humanity. Nobody talks about this. And the reason nobody talks about it is because it puts a burden of responsibility on
women,
which we are not allowed to do in society. If you put a burden of responsibility on, you're the devil. If I told you that all of society was about to implode because aliens have come and aliens are going to destroy everything and there's going to be no humans left.
I believe in aliens.
Okay, good. So we need to conscript all of the men and give them guns to go and die against an alien invasion to protect society. You would sit and say, yeah, normal. Everyone's going to die. Men have to go and protect us. That's normal. If I sit and say society is going to implode, in 100 years there's going to be no one left on Earth because we aren't having babies, someone should tell to have babies, you're going to get offended instantly. How could you possibly expect to have any desire to propagate the human race? How can you possibly expect to have any burden to continue humanity? No, they have no burden. We cannot be expected to do anything. All they should do is take Instagram pictures, spend a man's money, make TikToks, unimportant, which doesn't even benefit anybody. Then that's the truth of the world we now live in. No at the age of 18 in America, if I were to walk down Miami and say, who wants kids at 18? Nobody. And that's why the world's
good point.
And until we fix that, it's going to stay.
Good point.
We had a big debate.
No, it is. Want kids anymore.
I want kids. What they want is Instagram, Birkin bags, boats, traveling, yachts,
so real,
drink, drugs, and then they need money, so they get on. It is the biggest waste of time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Waste their lives on the most unimportant.
So selfish.
At least if a man doesn't have kids, by and large, he's trying to at least get rich. At least he's trying to get some money.
Yeah, I think that understanding that is that, okay, we as humans in general are more selfish, but men are more prone to doing it for the good of everyone. We as ladies, it is in our nature that we are more selfish. We are more prone to being like, well, what makes me happy? What is it in it for me? Rather than the greater good for everybody else. Because we don't want to choose anything hard. We don't want to choose anything where it may be a little bit difficult. We don't want to choose anything where it may hurt your feelings for a little bit. We don't understand that in order for anything in life to exist, that too has to exist. There is no route or lane that you choose that does not have a pothole in the road. Each way that you go, there is something wrong with it. There's gonna be something hard. So choose which hard that you're gonna go through. Are you gonna go through the hard of having to wait out for the perfect man that is gonna have everything already, give you everything when you may, regardless of whatever you've done in your life? Or are you going to get with a man, build with him, grow with him, y'all both make mistakes along the way, and you work it out, and then that in return is greater for everybody else rather than just you? We got to choose. And that's the whole thing, is that take accountability for what your choices are. And that always circles back around to that, is what we have lacked for generations and generations, is that it is up to us. Are we going to start taking accountability for what we do as women? We have to. That's the only way that we're going to grow, and we're going to learn, and we're going to actually start fixing things, rather than just complaining about everything and not actually getting to the root of what is going on, you know? And I'm here to tell you that once you do that those things that you see in other people's relationships that you want, that you're stalking on Instagram and on YouTube of where you like their relationship, well, in order to get that, you have to go through some hards, and you have to go through things. But then when you come out on the other side, that is where that peace comes in. That is where you understand what purpose is. And that is all we're here for, is for the purpose that God placed us here to be, you know? So yeah, let's get back into it.
Have no kids. They're not trying to get rich. You know what they're trying to do? Have fun. And it is a waste of time. They're wasting their best years.
This is because of social media.
Of course.
All because of social media.
Of course it is.
So if you can't admit that, you can't come out as a whole for it.
I'm not coming out. I'm explaining to you how the world is functioning.
It's your fault,
I'm not your
you
enemy.
chose it.
Don't shoot the messenger. I'm explaining how society is currently operating. And social media is the reason. You're right. Because a sits there and goes, my man tries his best. He makes $110,000 a year. He works in a factory. But you know what? I'm scrolling TikTok and I see this Russian in Dubai. She gets flowers bigger than my house. Maybe I can do better. Maybe I can get a richer man. Why am I going to lose the one thing I have to get men, sexuality, by having a baby with this guy, when this guy over here is buying her all that shit? Maybe I should go on a girl's holiday. Maybe I should hold on a little longer. Maybe I can get a richer guy. Maybe if I just wait. And no one's having kids. And then they break up. That's what's happening. That's what's happening.
I can see that.
Happens every day.
Of course.
Happens every day.
And before TikTok and social media and all this, if you were in Nebraska and you met a dude in Nebraska, you had kids in Nebraska. No one's sitting there talking about Dubai in Nebraska. No, but now everyone's sitting there talking about Dubai, messaging me, trying to get flown out. That's what's happening.
But Andrew, to your point as well, will have a boyfriend, leave their boyfriend, go to a different state or country, where rich guys are at, stay there to find a guy that can match your dreams. So you're right, bro. 100%.
And their dreams, this is the most important thing, is dreams at a young age. When they get older, they get smarter, by and large. But at a young age, are not children. No 20-year-old's dream is children. And if they do say they want children, they say, my dream is children. I want to be a mother. When I'm 27. Well, that's not your fucking dream, is it?
Right.
So what's your dream now? Your dream now is a Birkin bag and being a on TikTok. Your dream is followers. Your dream is pixels on a screen because your dreams are literally going, wow, 100,000 followers. Yeah, I matter. It's ridiculous. You matter to your child. You matter when your kid looks in your eyes. That's who you matter to. Yeah. You don't matter to any of the men blowing up your inbox or any of the dudes giving you likes on Instagram. These men will you and not give a shit if you get hit by a car the next day.
They don't know that.
They don't give a about you. Yeah. But are not smart enough to sit there and analyze how they've been psyoped by the Matrix specifically and purposefully to avoid having children. And I don't want to get political because I can do it. But if there's families, men are prepared to die to protect their family. Please understand this. If I'm in charge of a country and I come along and want to oppress a population, and that population is full of families, now you have men who say, look, you can try and oppress me, but you're not going to oppress my wife and my kids. I'm going to stand here and defend this street no matter who comes because my wife and my kids live here. When there's no families, why is a man going to stand up and defend a street? He can leave. He can bounce. He can stay in his basement and play video games. Take the street. Don't give a shit. Men give up on defending society because they have nothing to defend. So by convincing to not have children, now men don't have a vested interest in resisting slavery. And it is only men who can resist slavery. Only us men, crossed arms. Only us men can defend you. Only us, we can defend you from government, other men, anything. That's what men do. So unless we have a vested interest in building a better world, which we're only going to have through family, most men you see in the world today have given up. They sit at home, playing video games, smoking weed, and when the government comes along and says, I'm going to oppress everyone and make everybody slaves, they go, I don't give a fuck. I ain't got a family anyway. No one talks to me because I ain't rich. I ain't got kids anyway. It. The people in charge of the world have specifically convinced to not do the number one thing since the dawn of human time they were obsessed with doing, which is birthing children.
Yeah.
It's incredible the level of psyop which has been successful. It's truly incredible. They've convinced to not want kids. Isn't that remarkable? Haven't you seen a woman around a child? Haven't you seen like a woman sees a kid and gets baby fever? In most of the world, I've been all around the world. In most of the world outside of the Western Hemisphere, love the idea of kids. They have a kid, their aunt is there, their mom is there, their sisters have kids, big families, all the kids. But in America, they're like, no, I don't want a kid. I want a Birkin. You're a bro.
That's so real. That's so real. And even personally experiencing that in my life of where, of moving towards that in my life. And then ladies being like, kids, like, I can't believe that's what you want to do. You're so young. And I'm 25 at the time. What? My time's running out. I got 5 years to get married, have kids, get it going, get it popping because I want more than one. That's crazy. Like, even to wait that long, I think is crazy because we as ladies, if we're honest, we start being ready to get married and have babies when we're in high school. That's what that first guy. We wish that we had that high school relationship that where it worked out and you had babies and the first guy that you ever did it with, you end up being with for life. That's truly what we all want, you know? And the whole thing is that, dude, make it work then. Do that. Like, we just have lost it because we listen to other women saying that that's not what you want. That's crazy. It's so wild. But we are our own worst enemies as ladies. And I'm so glad that these men are coming out and telling the truth. And I don't know. I just felt like, dude, knowing myself, even as a lady, and how I was, especially being a modern woman, is that I wanted to listen to what a lady was going to say. And so here as a lady that has worked back through all of her mess, all of her stuff, and still continues to find ways to better every day, is that I got to come up here. I got to try to help you guys, you know, because if we don't start becoming more aware, like Andrew Tate said, we're doomed, bro. Like, we're just doomed at this point. We got to start correcting things, having babies, having children, and moving properly, you know? So God bless y'all, and I'll see you in the next one.